shit is short. I write the format, double the law, right court. Who could afford me? I rise to the side. All they gave is lip shoving. You know the girl is loving. I'm way above it. Whatever you put in front of me, that's why we do the ollie industry. Like you fools, we making beats. Systems designed in Japan. It's all part of the master plan. I'm gonna be working on this track like it was Custer's last stand. Just to make you understand who's the fucking man when it comes to skateboarding. I be supporting, even though I don't do it all that well. I'm probably that motherfucker you saw that fell. Don't get too close cause it smell. The fish that I be slanging for a living. Cause in the end, it ain't no taking it, there ain't no giving. And that's a given. I be riding through the streets of Berkeley with the skate key dangled in front of me like Bugs Bunny's carrot. See it on TV. No, round here, no shit ain't never free. Motherfuckers pester me, try to get me to do a skate trick. They just wanna see me hit that brick. If I do a solid landing, I get applause and shit. So I shove off, grab my nuts and cough. These motherfuckers standing around wondering who was that guy. Man, that was Tony Hawk. Bullshit, man. That motherfucker's owned and bought. His claim to fame is his name at the fucking skate shop. Whatever, man. That fool's got video games in his name, man. I played it the other day, it drove me insane. I could only do the trick when I sit next to Mary Jane. Don't complain, man. Some niggas got it like Vision Gonzalez. 10 million turquoise green decks, oh man, that's the color of dollars. I used to roll up out out the deck back in the 80s. Even back then, that shit was cool to the ladies, man. In the skate park, in the dark, you used to spark up all that shit. Getting hella high, then go do some fucking tricks. Switching on the 40, I'm feeling naughty, doing hella kick flips. Check out my skate key and type my independence. I got rap bones to get me home, 20s they hella hard. Loud as fuck, but they get me the most air on the boulevard. Stand back, old lady. I remember back, we used to put panties in our gloves for power slides. Duct tape on the side of the van, suspend splits. Wheels got small, we started doing little shits. DJs, skulls, bones, and BBs. Spitfire shit so these motherfuckers can't see me. Wheels got lighter, tricks got tighter. Kick flips, grind lips, and wheelies. Burials and 360s. Now dudes are doing all these 6 feet with an invert added to the trick. Top it off with the heel flip. And if you're good, you can Superman and come to a halt with the grind and still stand. I heard Spice One used to ride and trick, and now he's got a gold hit. Probably a menace too with his finger on the trigger and shit. Well, why not? Look at Steve Caballero. He's riding with Tony Hawk, making hella dinero. Doing the show, riding independent. Cause there may be spiders up in the industry. That's why I ride the streets. Ride my skateboard through Berkeley, California. I tried to warn you that motherfuckers might run up on ya. Like the riders, but who we don't know. Cause Oakland, California is right next door. Doing kick flips through the Bay Area. 5 ocean deep, so I hope that I'm scaring you. So I grind on the curb and ollie to the stove. Grab myself some Cheetos and a 4-0.
Grab my parachute and scream like Tarzan. I tried to grab my monkey, but he just ran. Jumped out the plane, now ain't that grand. Before I touch ground, people grabbing my hand. I guess it ain't no thing when you're big in Japan. Big in Japan, big in Japan. It ain't no fucking thing when you're big in Japan. Big in Japan, big in Japan. It ain't no fucking thing when you're big in Japan. Big in Japan, big in Japan, big in Japan. touchdown, so I cut my shoot loose. Pushing through the crowd like moves from Footloose. Soon stuck on my lace and pulled my boot loose. So I put my hand on my pocket to check my zoot suit, just to make sure I still have my loot. Pulled out my gum and commenced to chew in, to calm my nerves from the way I just flew in. Cracked the 40, I was feeling funky. Pour a sip on the curb before my lost monkey. He was just like me, a hip-hop junkie. We used to walk in the park, hand in hand, listen to the sounds of the big old band. I guess it shouldn't be sad, it's all part of the plan. It ain't no thing when you're big in Japan. Big in Japan, big in Japan. It ain't no fucking thing when you're big in Japan. Big in Japan, big in Japan. It ain't no fucking thing when you're big in Japan. Big in Japan, big in Japan. Big in Japan, big in Japan. Big in Japan, big in Japan. Marzipan. Big in Japan, marzipan. Marzipan.
The most important part is first, it's an iconic picture. You know where you are, and it's a war picture.
Stolen loot, but I'm still getting loot. A triple nickel with a parachute, military trained to the point we're insane beings with nothing on the mind but killing. I got that General Colin Powell type of feeling. Stealing countries like cards, I'm dealing with the situation. Your country gets caught slipping, we invade the nation. Feel the sensation, national pride is high. American flags cover the sky. Still it got me asking why do the fuck we do this? Can we stay true to this purpose, or will we be always booted and hissed by Europe's people? Listen, it's time to climb the steeple. I'm not evil or dissing my own country, it's just that I got a hunch, see. There's a reason why I be loving the pigeons in my trunk, G. And it might have something to do with nationality.
The war in Iraq and the ongoing conflict in the Middle East were common themes among the entries. After the award ceremony, the winning photos will be displayed around the world and published as a book.
Don't mock me, it's a miracle like hockey being won by the US when Russia was always the best. I must confess they couldn't believe we scored in 1984 at a heightened time in the Cold War. Recently invaded Afghanistan trying to fight the Taliban, so the US decided to lend a hand. CIA supplied singers to Al-Qaeda and Bin Laden. Rent the movie Rambo 3 in the event this isn't forgotten. I know I'm not in a bad mood, I'm just not into bad food. Or whole countries trying to ban the boob tube, or trying to ban all music. Ask Roger Moore from TV Nation, he knew that something was bound to happen. It's too bad we don't have fools like that rapping and busting caps. And I feel like Dwayne for asking what's happening. All other rappers are on the line trying new lyrics, but you're just hanging in the wind, lips flapping. It's time we take responsibility for this scrapping. Oh yes, and it's a revolution, and the new weapons of the institution have to do with communication. This is the opinion of a taxpayer from a doomed nation.
John Kerry, the front-runner in the race for the U.S. Democratic presidential nomination, has won the support of one of his former rivals. Retired Army General Wesley Clark has given Kerry his endorsement.
This is kinda scary, who is John Kerry? I'll be busy trying to pay the rent while he becomes our president. I hope he's not another resident evil, trying to steal the steeple out from under my people. I don't think Arnold Schwarzenegger's feeble mind can deal with the politics of the times. That's why MIB pays me in dimes to expose political crimes. That's why we're exposing the left breast of the best chest in the West, like Janet Jackson at Super Bowl halftime when you're kicking back relaxing. The only thought in your mind is the scoring. To me that shit is boring, I'm not a sports whoring, especially when the sky be pouring like I be soaring and crying about the shit we've been denying that we ever did.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. On the ground, down, masses going insane. Passing a Mary Jane, unidentified, located, massing objects. Broadcast flows to the Black Ops Project. 51 areas you don't know about. Dominate the globe, UFOs take route. Eeny, meeny, money, mo, get me some mo. Catch me a little gray by his little toe, never let him go. No guns allowed in these top secret areas. Pre-planned invasion, so I hope that I'm scaring ya. Turn on my TV and I'm watching the news. People straight dying from cold SARS and flus. Mad cow disease, late night mutilation. Price of beef falls causing mass inflation. Dow Jones low, WTO fucks a nation. We woke up the east, now the beast devours its own powers, just like the Twin Towers. Crack the horns fell live and global. Rads and rams spread around just like Chernobyl. Afghanistan, ruling Taliban, cause everybody knows Bin Laden's insane. He's gotta be in cahoots with Saddam Hussein, so we pushing him out straight back to Iraq. Roll through Kuwait and commence the attack. And once it begins, there's no turning back. Turn on my TV, can't believe what I saw. F-16s delivering shock and awe. Stray cruise missiles, stealthy fighters. Thugs rob a bank, man, it must be Al-Qaeda. M1's rolling, now we straight patrolling. The dinar was stolen, we found Saddam in the hole. M1's rolling, and we acting like cops. Although the war's over, now we're acting like cops.
If you've been injured in a car accident, don't call an attorney. Use this AI.
You'll go straight to the gas chamber for this one.
Survivors, no mercy.
You'll go straight to the gas chamber for this one.
them on their knees. Doesn't really matter to me. Oh, please.
You're not